The movie opens with a frantic late-night phone call between Andy and his wife Naomi. Naomi reveals she has checked herself into a rehabilitation center for a pill addiction, a confession that completely blindsides Andy. He is in disbelief, arguing that she only drinks a little too much and that rehab is an overreaction, but Naomi insists her addiction is real and has been a secret burden she can no longer carry. She reveals she is staying for 90 days and with a final declaration tells him she's leaving him before the call cuts out. The next day Andy is flustered and late for his daughter Grace's OB/GYN appointment. Grace is pregnant and feeling anxious about her new life. At the appointment, the doctor reassures her that everything is fine, but as they leave, Andy reveals to Grace that Naomi is in rehab and has left him. Grace is shocked but not surprised, which further infuriates Andy. She hints that she knew something was wrong with her mother, mentioning Naomi's pill use, but has to leave before he can get more information. Feeling lost and desperate, Andy drives to the rehab facility, which looks more like a country club, and is met with a wall of bureaucracy. The receptionist, citing privacy concerns, refuses to confirm Naomi's presence or let him speak with her. Frustrated and helpless, he is forced to leave. His day continues to unravel as he forgets to pick up his two younger children, Billy and Mose, from school, and they are left feeling abandoned and embarrassed. Back home, Andy struggles to get into a routine with the kids. He attempts to make dinner but messes up, nearly giving one of the kids a nut allergic reaction. He realizes just how much Naomi managed their daily lives. Later, he hires a new babysitter, Taylai, who he learns is an Israeli army veteran. He shares his stress with her and she confesses that her husband is gay and lives abroad, offering a different perspective on relationships and family dynamics. The next morning, Andy arrives at his art gallery and is met with more bad news. His financial advisor Sai informs him that the gallery is in deep debt and on the verge of bankruptcy. Sai advises him to sell inventory or even consider relocating, but Andy is resistant, clinging to the history and identity of the gallery. This adds another layer of stress to his already crumbling life. Andy tries to get Grace to babysit the twins for a night, but she refuses, citing her own stress with work and her pregnancy. He then desperately asks her for help, a rare and difficult act for him. This leads to an emotional conversation where Grace confronts him about his past unavailability, recalling his frequent trips and lack of presence during her childhood. She expresses her own anxiety about balancing her career with motherhood and reveals she's considering quitting her job, something she thinks is a result of his influence. The conversation ends with an agreement for Andy to go shopping for baby supplies with her, a rare chance for them to connect. Later, while driving the kids to school, Andy discovers that Naomi has been calling them regularly. The kids reveal that one of their friends told them Naomi is in rehab, forcing him to finally tell them the truth, albeit with a sugar-coated explanation. He continues to struggle with the daily tasks of parenthood, even getting the kids marked tardy at school. He is further embarrassed when he sees another father, Terry, who effortlessly navigates the school's rules despite his own challenges, revealing his son has epilepsy and his wife left him 3 years ago. Terry and Andy bond over their shared experiences of being abandoned by their spouses, and Andy opens up about his wife's prescription pill addiction. He is astonished and saddened that Naomi hid her struggle from him, and he questions how he could have been so oblivious to her pain. The film concludes with him grappling with these newfound truths, facing the reality of his family's crisis, his failing business, and his own shortcomings as a husband and father. He is forced to confront the life he has neglected and the people he has taken for granted. Determined to make contact, Andy returns home and finds that Naomi has been secretly calling the children. He answers the phone, and even though she doesn't speak, he pours his heart out, apologizing for his emotional absence and admitting he was too wrapped up in his failing gallery to notice her struggles. He promises to be there for her and tells her he loves her, but she remains silent, further deepening his isolation. The tension at home escalates when the kids are caught flying a drone indoors. Andy loses his temper, yelling at his son and using profanity before immediately regretting it. The children respond by saying the house is his and that their mom likes them more. This emotional blow forces Andy to apologize and try to make amends. He cancels his work dinner to stay in and watch a movie with the kids, choosing the classic Casablanca. The film's bittersweet ending prompts a touching conversation where he tries to explain the complexities of relationships to his son. The movie's themes of sacrifice and enduring love resonate with his own situation. Later, his son asks a poignant question, "Is Mom ever coming back?" To which Andy gives a hopeful but uncertain "of course." The next morning, Andy's professional life continues its downward spiral. His business partner Sai calls with bad news. Their hot new artist Dev has decided to leave the gallery. Dev is nervous about his work not selling and is jumping ship. The silver lining, according to Sai, is an opportunity to represent the estate of a well-known artist, Teresa Thompson. Her daughter Lola is a singer performing that night, and Sai believes Andy should attend to secure the deal. That evening, Andy attends Lola's show, which turns out to be a night of feminist works with some surprisingly explicit songs. After her performance, he awkwardly approaches Lola, who is initially reluctant to speak with him. He shares his admiration for her mother's work and his gallery's history. Lola challenges his motives but is eventually swayed by his genuine passion and promises of a solo presentation. She agrees to meet him at the gallery the next day. The following day, while Andy is taking his son's Halloween costume shopping, he runs into Terry again. Terry, ever the compassionate confidant, encourages Andy to power through his difficult situation. Andy expresses his loneliness and admits he hasn't heard from Naomi. He also opens up about his strained relationship with his daughter Grace and the challenges of being a single parent. Terry in turn shares his own struggles since his wife left. The two men find a strange comfort in their shared misery. Later, while trick-or-treating with his sons, Andy and the kids run into Terry again. Terry invites them into his house. Andy dressed as a hip old man and Terry share a drink. Terry confesses he is out of the game with dating and reveals he is gay. He misinterprets a moment with Andy as romantic, making both of them incredibly uncomfortable. Andy, in a moment of utter exhaustion, admits that at this point, with his wife in rehab, his business failing, and now an awkward advance from a friend, almost nothing can faze him. After the incident, Andy decides he can't lie to his kids anymore. He sits them down and explains that Naomi is in rehab because she was feeling unwell and needed professional help. He compares it to going to the doctor when they're sick, reassuring them that she'll be okay. The kids reveal they've known about her pill use for some time, making Andy realize how much he has failed to notice. He promises them he isn't going anywhere and that he'll always be there for them. Back at the gallery, Andy receives a package of unopened letters he'd sent to Naomi at the rehab center. This final rejection solidifies his wife's decision. To add to his woes, his trusted assistant Johnny tells him he's also leaving for a new job. Andy, in a rare display of grace, encourages him to take the opportunity. Moments later, Lola Thompson arrives at the gallery. She notices a painting done by Andy's wife and finds it intense. They discuss the Teresa Thompson estate and Andy explains his passion for her work and his hope that her estate will save the gallery. As they talk, Grace walks in for their scheduled hike and Andy has to introduce her to Lola. He confesses to Grace the real reason for his stress: the gallery is failing and he might have to close it, a fact he's kept secret until now. The film concludes with Andy at a crossroads, facing the complete collapse of his professional and personal lives. That day, as Andy is about to leave for Grace's appointment, his wife Naomi unexpectedly returns. She is healthy and apologetic, explaining that she was too scared to face him and the kids while she was struggling. She tells him she loves him and wants to make their relationship work. Andy, overjoyed, embraces her. However, Naomi clarifies that she wants to be better as friends, not as a couple. This second rejection in one day leaves Andy devastated. He misses Grace's call and rushes to meet her at her doctor's office, where she is already in labor 3.5 weeks early. Grace is furious with him and their argument, fueled by her pain and years of resentment, escalates. She accuses him of being an absentee father, always wrapped up in his own world. She tells him that she and her siblings have never had the new and improved Andy who makes pancakes and watches old movies with them. He got to experience her as a child, but now they are just friends, a dynamic she hates. Amidst the tension and her contractions, she admits she loves him and hates him at the same time. The doctor comes in and says the baby's heart rate is dropping and they may have to perform an emergency C-section. In the midst of the chaos, Andy, in a moment of pure fatherly love, holds her hand and tells her a story about all the moments they will share in the baby's future. The story helps her to push through and the baby's heart rate normalizes. The film concludes with Andy in the hospital waiting room. He learns that he is a grandfather to a beautiful baby girl. He gets to hold her and is instantly overwhelmed with emotion. He introduces himself as Granddad and welcomes her into the world. The last image is of him holding his new granddaughter, finally feeling a sense of peace and a new beginning. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.